So is smoking weed okay for Christians? Let's chat. All right, so weed and Christians. It's one of these topics that cause a lot of controversy. People get all worked up about it. And if you just stop and think about it, it's really not that hard to answer. Now, I'm not talking about smoking weed for medicinal purposes. That's a different subject for a different day. I'm talking about recreational use. Should Christians smoke weed recreational? Now, a lot of people will come at you and say, well, there's no verse that specifically says you can't smoke weed. And if there is, show me the verse. Well, you're right. There's no specific verse that says you cannot smoke weed. Then people will say, well, why would God create something and then call it a sin for you to enjoy it? Well, that argument right there is just, to me, it's a ridiculous argument because God creates a lot of things that we're not to smoke. You know, you don't go around smoking acorns. You don't go around smoking roses. So God creates things. And just because God creates something doesn't mean you're going to go around and smoke it. So that argument just doesn't hold a lot of water. And then people will say, well, it's legal now. Before it was illegal to smoke weed. Now it's legal. So, the Bible also says that we are to obey the laws of the land. So if the law of the land says smoking weed is legal, well, then I guess we can do it. Well, what's the higher authority? What God says or what the laws of the land are? And so clearly at the end of the day, you make that choice. Who are you going to obey? As Christians, yes, we do uphold the laws of the land unless they go against what God has revealed in his word. So with all of that out of the way, let's chat for a second. So yes, there is no specific verse that says smoking weed is wrong, but there are other verses that that speak to this idea. And so the first one we see in 1 Corinthians 6, where Paul talks about our bodies being the temple of the Holy Spirit. Now, in the context, in that passage, it's speaking about sexual immorality, right? So sex is between a man and a woman, husband and a wife. That's it. Anything outside of that is considered sexual immorality. But the principle around that text, when you take a look at that text from, let's say, 30,000 feet, it also applies to a lot of things. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So let's kind of think practically here for a second. So outside of purely sexuality, if your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, it means you got to take care of it. So in the context of smoking weed, now what does weed do to your body? Well, it's harmful, kills brain cells. So is that appropriate to do to the temple, your temple, the temple that houses the presence of God for those of you that are Christians, killing thousands and thousands of brain cells? It impairs your judgment. Now, Peter multiple times says that we are to be sober-minded. So can you be high on weed, yet be sober-minded? Can't do that. So not only is weed, in a sense, harmful, it also takes you out of your rational, normal state. And I would also say this, if you're high on weed, can you worship God? Can you really focus on the Lord and hear what he's saying if you're all jacked up on weed? You see, I don't think so. And so I think that the Bible being that our body is the temple of God, that we are to treat it with respect and honor. And it's the same thing with cigarettes. There's no verse that says smoking cigarettes is a sin. It's just, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to smoke poisonous chemicals into your body? It's probably not a good idea. And again, you can just keep pushing this along the line to diet, to health. I mean, if you're pounding back McDonald's every single day, 3 times a day, you're probably not treating your body well. You're not treating your body as the temple. So it's not just about sexual morality, as the context says. It goes bigger, not just about weed or cigarettes. It's just all of life. Like, we are to treat our bodies as the temple of God. Like, God dwells inside of you. If we actually believe that, that would dictate and change how we treat it. So Bible says that. Now also, the Bible lists, or there's a Greek word that the Bible, especially in the New Testament, uses to talk about witchcraft, sorcery, divination, and it's the Greek word pharmakeia, to which we get the word pharmacy, drugs. And so I'd even venture to say that smoking weed, which inhibits your judgment, which alters the way you think, and don't tell me, oh, I smoke weed all the time and I can operate perfectly fine. If that was the case, then you wouldn't be smoking it. You'd be, go smoke a rose. There's a reason why you smoke weed and don't smoke something else that gives you no benefit, that gives you no feeling, no sense of high. The reason you smoke marijuana is because it does something to you. And so I'd venture to say that smoking weed is a form of witchcraft. Alters your perspective, alters your mind. And I would also say it's a gateway drug into harsher things that alter your mind even more. And when you start looking into, like, for example, DMT, these drugs that elicit crazy hallucinations where you are going into the astral plane and you're having contact with demonic entities and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's a form of witchcraft. That's why this stuff is practiced in a lot of rituals and satanic things in different cultures all over the world. They use drugs, they use these things as mediums to connect with the unseen realm, which the Bible forbids. So that right there, those two things, our body is a temple, and by altering your state of mind, I believe it's a form of witchcraft. I think those are two solid reasons why it's not okay for Christians to smoke weed. I think that if you are in need of some kind of experience, so my recommendation, my advice is to connect with Jesus, connect with the Holy Spirit, have a real relationship with God that is greater and better than any high you could ever have with any kind of drug. And so that's why Paul even says in Ephesians 5:18, do not get drunk with wine, for that's debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. So he says, don't get drunk. Don't get drunk and intoxicated on alcohol, but instead of that, be filled with the Spirit. Be intoxicated with God. And that's the big idea here. Whether we're talking about weed, alcohol, drugs, whatever. Don't settle for second-rate harmful substitutes. Because if you actually have a relationship with Jesus, if you actually have encountered him and his presence, then that right there should fill every single void and cavern and yearning and desire that you have for anything else. So that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts below. Should Christians smoke weed? Is it okay for Christians to smoke weed? Let me know down below. Have an awesome rest of your day or evening, and we'll see you all in the next video. Much love. God bless.